Okay, hey everybody. This is just a quick video about your final paper. I just made a final paper module that has the assignment and has the author selection discussion page. Um, so, general parameters, 3 to 4 pages, not including the works cited page where you need to have 5 sources, including the primary source, obviously the anthology. Make sure to look up how to properly cite an anthology because it is different than if you were citing, um, Leaves of Grass, if you were citing a Whitman poem. And 3, secondary sources. So if you're looking up biographical information, historical context, literary criticism, etc., you may not use Schmoop, Cliff Notes. It's, any of those sources for your analysis. If you want to look into literary criticism, um, you can find things in the library or the library database. Remember, Wikipedia is not a reliable, well, it's not reliable. Don't use Wikipedia, but you can follow the footnotes on Wikipedia and find that information as a hint. So the paper itself, right? The idea, normally, if I would teach an in-person class and we did this, um, it would be a paper and you would also have a presentation on top of it. So you don't have to do the presentation. You don't have to make a PowerPoint or anything. But the idea is that the anthology, if you had the actual book in front of you, it's like 3 volumes, right? It's thousands of pages long. There's no way that you can do that in a semester, right? It's impossible, um, unless that is literally all you did and you didn't take any other classes. Um, so you miss out on a ton of great authors, is the point. So the assignment originally was a way to expose everyone else in class to different authors that we didn't have time to look at from my selections. So even though you won't be giving a presentation, it's that same idea. So essentially, the paper has a couple components, right? The main component, I have it all broken down here, right? It's only 50 points, remember, because then you'll have your final exam, which is another 50. Short biography of the author, remember, some, people's historical context, um, biographical contexts have very much so informed their work. Um, did they fall into neatly or messily fall into a literary movement, etc. The bulk of your paper is you're going to want to pick a couple poems, a short story or two, again in the anthology a play. I wrote on the discussion selection that you should not, don't do, there's like 3 novels crammed into the anthology. Don't do a novel. Just stick with shorter pieces, right? Make it more manageable for yourself, especially with the end of the semester rearing its head around the corner. But you're going to analyze a piece or pieces, whatever you choose, right? Um, Pretty much like all of our lectures that we have posted, right? Look for major themes, symbolism. What do you think the piece is about? Think critically. You know, um, if you're doing a couple pieces, does the author have underlying themes and ideas that run through their work, right? Think about Mary Oliver, always kind of writing about nature, excuse me, and how we are much more connected to it than we like to admit or choose to admit. Um, those type of things. Literary devices, poetic devices that you can identify, etc. How do those things inform the author's work? Yeah, and then at the end, 5 points why you chose the writer. That's almost more of an afterthought. Um, it was more so for the presentation aspect of the assignment, but just toss it in there in your conclusion. Um, did you enjoy their work? Did you not, etc. So, pretty straightforward, kind of basic analytical piece, not very long, right? So again, the discussion is also up for your final paper author selection, right? Keep in mind, you all need to choose someone different, so it can't be someone that we covered in class. It has to be someone in the anthology. This anthology. Don't tell me you're going to do Edgar Allan Poe. He's American Lit 1. And everyone has to select a different author, right? So pick who you want here. I'll give you a thumbs up or a cool or okay or what have you. And then, make sure you check before to make sure that you're not doubling up on anyone. If you have any questions, toss them here on this discussion. And yeah, if you have any more private questions, send me an email or message me on Canvas, what have you. But pretty straightforward end of the semester literature class paper. If you are wondering about your final exam, well, your final paper is due the 7th, and your final exam, I believe, is going to be due the 10th. It's whatever the last day of finals day is. It will be pretty much the same format as the last one, but it will be all multiple choice and true and false. There won't be any fill in the blanks or short answers. And it's only 50 points, so it's worth half of what your midterm was, because this final paper is the other 50 points. So it'll be shorter, it'll be 25 questions, 2.5 points each. Yeah, okay. Everyone, have a good weekend.